Hello friends, I'm Amanda Barr.
And I'm Rebecca Lou Brennan, and welcome to Dance Principles United, the podcast.
Together, we are passionate about helping studio owners with the business of running their studio.
Join us as we talk everything from marketing, systems, studio culture, motherhood, life, and everything in between.
This is the Dance Principles United podcast.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Dance Principles United podcast. We are here with the amazing Beck. How are you today, Beck?
I'm pretty awesome. We're still twinning.
We're still twinning. Look, we can't pretend, Beck. We are batching this. We did this at the same time as our timetable chat, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah.
I don't have the black hat though.
No, sorry.
Sadness.
No, I could have bought you one.
You should have.
Yeah.
You should have. How are you, Nath?
Really good, really good. I've had a big day up here in Penrith. We're obviously here for recording the podcast. I came over to visit the Pause team and have a bit of a chat and a look at the studio and some stuff you were doing there. But always enjoy coming and doing this podcast stuff because we've got so much to talk about around something that we're focusing on with our Studio Growth Club members this month, which is your biggest passion in working with studio owners, and it is all things staff training.
It is. And what we're really focusing on with SGC this month is watching your staff teach.
Yeah.
And that's what I really want to talk about today, because I said to our SGC members this morning on Monday Motivation, Nath, you can have the best marketing in the world.
Yep.
And you can have the best premises in the world, but if you don't have a good product, people won't stay with your brand. And that's across the board, right? Like if I just bought some new foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now it's a lot for a girl, you may or may not know this, to change their foundation over, right?
Yep.
Now this product is out of control amazing, and I will probably stick with this product forever.
Yes.
If I'd bought that foundation and the product was terrible, I'm not going to bother. Now, it's the exact same with your studio. There's so many, you're getting leads in, they come into the studio.
They see your great socials that you're doing, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, great marketing, you're doing great ads, they come in, your product's terrible, which means your teacher isn't teaching a great class.
Yes.
They're not going to stay.
And it doesn't even have to be, and guys, when we're talking about your product's terrible, you might be providing great dance training, but if it's not given by a teacher that's engaging and that is living the values of your studio, that's where it ends up being a problem, right?
And no one is going to work as hard for your studio as you are. I'm sorry, but they're not.
No, and they shouldn't.
No, exactly. But you as leaders need to know what's going on. I've heard some full-on horror stories about this. I've told this story before on the podcast, but I'm going to tell it anyway.
Yeah.
So one of my teachers who teaches for me now, who grew up in my studio, told me that he went to a studio. This was a couple of years ago. He was teaching the late night senior class, so 7 till 9:30 or whatever. The very first time he went in, he met the studio owner at the very beginning of the year. She taught him how to lock up. And he did not speak pretty much or see that studio owner until the end of the year.
Yeah.
And that is not uncommon.
No.
But it's so crazy.
Yes.
It's so crazy to me.
And this is where I think sometimes people get confused, Beck, because we are big in, not having to be there 24/7, 365 in your studio.
Sure.
And we're big at, making sure that there is as much semblance, sometimes as a bit of a balance that a small business owner can have. Sometimes that doesn't, we get that. But there's a difference between not being there 24/7, 365 and still being a good leader, right?
Absolutely. And knowing what people are doing in those classes. If you're not willing to walk in once a term and watch what they're doing, how do you know what's going on in there?
Yeah. At the end of the day, you're the boss, you're the CEO, the buck stops with you. So if anything's going on in your studio, from the preschool class up to the senior class, everything in between, every email that's sent even, everything comes back to you. And again, we're not saying you need to be reading every email that goes out, but in all parts of your business, you need to be reported back to in some way, shape or form, or checking in on intermittently to make sure that your business is running smoothly.
It's also much easier to give constant feedback. Like it's much easier to walk into the class and be like, hey, just try and use your voice a bit more. Obviously never saying it in front of the kids. I just want to say that, you would never, ever put a teacher down in front of the kids. But I will often just go in, do a quick 5-minute, have a look at what's happening. And then when it's drink break time, kind of be like, I love how and it's a shit sandwich, right? I always say, I love the choreography you're doing today. I think you need to use your voice a bit more to get more out of the kids. Let's work on that. It's just that constant feedback. Whereas when something builds up so bad and then you've got 5,000 parent complaints because the class is out of control, and then what most studio owners then do is either fire that person or then have a big altercation with that person.
Yeah.
But that's on the studio owner for not giving them the constant feedback as they went.
Yes. And so let's talk about then, what are your top recommendations for people that are wanting to get the most out of their staff and do these constant check-ins with them?
Well, the first thing I want to say is it's your job as a leader and as a business owner to upskill your staff.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we have this, but we think that people who come out of full-time should suddenly just be able to teach.
Mhm.
And even people who haven't come out of full-time, that they should just know exactly what you want out of the classes, whereas they often work at different businesses and different businesses will want different things. So
Yeah.
I guess the first thing I want to say is you've got to have your expectations so clear from the get-go. That's the most important thing. Every expectation. Like, in my opinion, being on your phone would be a no-brainer. Right, Nath? Like,
Yes, I agree.
Another one, and
It's
I know
'cause
you're
we're so
all
old
going to
school,
resonate with this.
Beck.
Sitting down whilst teaching, not a good choice.
Yep.
Right? We shouldn't sit down while we're teaching.
Yeah.
Yet, apparently, that's not you don't know that.
Well, that, to be honest, like, that blows my mind. I am not a dance teacher, but I was a maths teacher. I would never, when I was teaching year 8 maths, have dreamt about sitting down on a chair, let alone and that's teaching maths, where that's, if you're teaching a dance class, which is you demonstrating, being active, being the hype and energy guy or girl in the room, how could you think that sitting down is okay? Anyway, that blows my mind.
But they do it all the
Yeah.
time. Even still even though every staff training talk about it, and I will go into a classroom when someone is sitting down and say, just a reminder that we don't sit down at pause.
Yep.
They still do it. It's so crazy to me. Funny story, and it's kind of off topic, but not. So, I'm at the gym, I'm at PFT, and the owner wasn't there, and the person that was instructing us, now, they don't do anything difficult. They don't demonstrate really. Okay.
Yeah,
They just
yeah.
walk around and they go, good job. That's legit their job, right? At BFT. The exercises are on the TVs.
Yeah.
We know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. He had a sore hamstring that day.
Diddums.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like the lowest grade of tear you can have. I think it was like grade 1 tear. Anyway, so he sat down, I'm not exaggerating, on a couch with his feet up on the table. And Tim, my partner, works at the gym, and I was like, what the fuck? And we could not have been less motivated in that
Yep.
session. And that's the thing. Anyway, that's completely off topic, really. But those expectations have to be there. You
Yep.
have to say to them, no phone, no sitting down. Make sure you talk to parents before and after class. Again, to me, that is a no-brainer, but I'm a business owner.
Yep.
They don't understand that.
Yes.
So every little detail, those expectations need to happen.
Yep.
And then I guarantee they're going to start really great. And then after about week 3 or 4, they're going to start to get lazy, which is every employee on earth for any business that's not their own.
Yep.
So then it's your job to go in and remind them all the time.
Mhm.
Like, if you work for somewhere like McDonald's or, I used to work retail, it was my job as the manager in retail to constantly remind the staff, don't forget you got to talk to customers. Don't forget you got to, it's part of your job.
Yeah.
Yet as studio owners, we don't do any of that because we're either too scared of confrontation or we are too busy doing our own stuff that we forget that they need a leader. If
Yeah.
they don't have anyone to lead them, they're not going to do a good job.
Yeah. And I think this is something that studio owners, a lot that we work with, don't step into their own power enough,
No.
is what I see. And you know a lot more about the dance teaching side than me. But I see studio owners not willing to step into the power and claim the fact that they are the best teacher in their studio. And you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but teaching and choreography are two independent skills. There's obviously a lot of crossovers. I get that, guys. But you can be a fantastic choreographer and a terrible teacher at the same time. You can be vice versa. You can be a fantastic teacher that's maybe not the most creative choreographer. Obviously, there are some superstars out there that are both and have a lot of crossover. But for most studio owners, they are without a doubt the best teacher and are the best at getting the most out of kids in a class in their studio. Yes, they might get in other incredible creatives on the choreography side, but that they don't step into their power. And, I presume you go in and do these checks that we're talking about, even with your big name teachers and things like that.
Yes, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. And like I always tell a story of Stephen Tanos because he is the best person to take, he's probably the best choreographer in Australia, in my opinion. Okay. He is the first person to take criticism and loves it. They actually love, like Pete Evans is another one, right? He loves that I go in there and look, I said to him last year, Pete, the reason your routines aren't clean is because you don't know how to count. Right?
Yep.
Now, he is working for Australian Opera. He works for Dancing with the Stars. He's one of the most famous choreographers in Australia right now. And he was like, yep, true, thanks, help me with it.
Yep.
Because they don't have no one's helped them.
Mm-hmm.
No one's told them this is what you can do. No one's inspired them in that sense. No one's upskilled them. They're just expected to know all the things. But we as studio owners know those things, so help them and they'll appreciate it.
And I think a big part of it is making sure that if this becomes an expectation in your studio, that your staff know that they're going to be having check-ins with you, the studio owner, whether it's, and we'll talk about the frequency, if it's once a term. If they know that that's coming once a term, it's not a big deal. Yes, I'm not going to lie, the first couple of times, like the first time you implement this, there's going to be a bit of tension around the studio. Like people are going to be a little bit nervous about it, a little bit worried. But once you do that first one and you do it well, and they realize that you're not there as a gotcha, you're not there to get them, you're there to help and support them, then the next one's going to be better. And then it just becomes part of their every term routine. Or let's ask the question now, how frequently would you recommend that studio owners are doing this with their staff?
I would say once a term at least to sit and actually watch, even if it's 15 minutes of each class. I'm not saying you even have to watch the whole hour because I know that's a lot. Okay. Mm-hmm. But even just to watch 15 minutes and to give regular feedback on that. But really, every week you should be trying to step in even just for a couple of minutes or do a walk past and see what's happening in there. Or it's just that little them knowing that you're there every now and then or that someone's there checking in on them. But I love what you said about we are there to support you and it's how you sell it to them. It's like, I'm not here to judge you. I'm here because I want to put money into supporting you. I want to help you. I want to upskill you.
Yep.
It's not I'm going to judge you and therefore fire you. It's actually the opposite. I'm here to help you grow as a teacher and, people who get supported like that will stay at your studio because they actually value it.
Yes. And it ends up being, it is a time investment. We can't pretend it's not.
No.
And then sometimes it's also, you do a lot of external, like extra day staff trainings where you're getting people together and that costs money because you pay your staff for every
100%.
extra staff training day they come into and stuff like that. If you are a studio owner that's teaching a lot, and this is what a lot of our SGC members are doing, when they are setting aside a day to do their observations, it means they're having to pay somebody to come in and cover their classes. We understand that that's an expense too, guys. But it is an expense that pays off so many times over in the long run because people, like you said, people stay at your studio longer.
Yes.
It means they're less likely to jump down the road for an extra $5 an hour because they can see all the growth that they're getting with you.
Yes. And also you have staff who are working how you want them to work.
Yep.
So my best advice, guys, and someone said the other day, well, how do I replace that person? Like, how do I replace myself and explain it to the parents? And I said, explain to the parents that you're doing professional development with your teachers. I mean, that sounds amazing. Just be honest about it.
Yeah.
I'm doing professional development. Therefore, Miss Sally will be taking my classes this week. As what parent wouldn't want that? For a start, it shows you're a leader. Okay. So cover yourself, watch them, give them feedback and train them. And we've created this incredible thing with Studio Growth Club. Well, when I say we, Nath, you've done most of the work with that, where they can go through and tick things off. And then we have some trainings for them to be able to watch. And it suggests which trainings they watch. They watch the training and then the teacher gives feedback on what they've learned. Now, that's obviously next level, but you should be doing that and ticking off where they're great and where they're not great and talking them through where they need support, giving them the support, and then in a term's time, going back again and going, okay, how did you go with that?
Yeah. And I think, basically what you're talking about is that it's super important to have some structure when you go in and that you're going in unafraid to be honest with them. Like I said, we're not looking to as gotchas. We're not looking to go, but that we're not tiptoeing around. And this is something that I know Amanda and I were always something we had to work on, is that, guys, we all want everybody to like us. Yeah. And it's so easy to sit there and watch the class and go, this is a shit show. My God, like what is going on here? And then at the end, because you're so nice, like, oh yeah, that was good. I think everybody seemed like they were really having fun. And you don't give them the honest feedback about it. And like I said, you're not looking to fire them, but it's really important, like you said, if you've got the easiest way to be honest and give honest feedback is to have some sort of structure around it.
Yep.
And that's where this thing that we've developed is literally a checklist, is that there's, checklists for a bunch of key components and it's all online and our studio members will just go and tick, yep, there are 3 out of 5 for this. What is it? Satisfactory, good, excellent. We won't talk about the other 2 lower ones because let's be positive. But the best thing about it then too is you sit down at the end, you have a quick 5-minute chat with the teacher about it, you both sign it and click cool, submit. They then get a copy of the PDF of it. And most importantly, so that you don't have to stuff around with printing sheets off, and when I say printing sheets off, losing sheets, because that's how we would always roll, is that all of any observation that you're doing with them as a studio owner just sits on the internet behind your password protected thing, so that next time you go back next term, you log in and you're like, oh, that's right, I'm going to observe Beck teaching a hip hop class. Okay, last time I had to speak to her about making sure she had appropriate music this time and that she wasn't late and that she marked the roll properly. Let's see how Beck's done on those 3 things.
Hilarious. That is exactly what that sort of teacher would have had on there. It's also, the last thing I want to say, guys, is when you're doing that, it's great for them to mark themselves because quite often they know their behavior management isn't great. And so if you say to them, okay, where do you think you sit? Like you've marked them and then you're like, let's compare. Where do you think you sit? 9 times out of 10, they're like, yeah, my behavior management's really bad. And then your answer has to be, cool, let me help you support with that. Let me support you with that. I mean, like not just cool, we'll work on that then. They don't know how to work on it. This is why you need that training there. And this is why I'm so passionate in Tribe and SGC about providing those trainings for people so that they actually have that there so they can go, cool, just jump onto Beck's behavior management training, watch it, and then write some notes for me. It's where it's at.
Yeah, absolutely. And everything that we're talking about today, like I said, it helps us. It seems like a lot and it seems like a big time and sometimes money investment. And look, sometimes it is, but we need to get out of that short-term thinking on it because we know that one of the reasons that your studio is so successful, Beck, is because this isn't something that you just talk about. It's something you put into practice so that you have, obviously, we talk about all the top-end teachers you have, but also you have your staff that are just starting out, that have been students with you since they were whatever age and that are now 16, 17, 18 and that are working their way up through your studio. And they're fantastic teachers. And they're also teachers that are, well, let's be honest, guys, we don't have to quite pay as much and end up being more profitable for our business. So when we do this and do it properly, it ends up being such a game changer.
Such a game changer. Thank you so much, guys, for listening today. If you have questions about leadership, I'm always keen to jam. So make sure you DM us and we will see you soon.
Thanks, everybody. See ya.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Dance Principles United podcast. If you'd love to learn more from us, we have a special offer just for our podcast listeners. Go to the link in the show notes right now to get 2 weeks free in Dance Principles United Tribe. We would love to see you there.